Tonight, a Dennery man is shot dead. His relative says he may have had vices that led to his demise. The National Trust files suit to get the government to admit it was wrong and pay up to the trust for damages. And the St. Lucia Labour Party wants to know what's the holdup with the investigation stemming from the impacts report. The details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Monday, the 10th of May, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The island has recorded another homicide case. On Sunday, gunshots rang out in Dennery, leaving one man dead in the aftermath. Our news team was on the ground in Dennery on Monday and spoke with a friend and cousin of the slain man. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
In the matter of 2 months, 2 young men have lost their lives to gun violence in Chiralu, Dennery. On Sunday night, residents in the area reported hearing gunshots at approximately 10:30 p.m. Hot 7 visited the scene in the aftermath and spoke with a cousin of the deceased. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force identified the deceased as Josiah Giraru. Law enforcement informed that Giraru was shot multiple times about the body on Sunday and succumbed to his injuries on Monday. Giraru's cousin, who chose not to appear on camera, is of the view that the deceased may have had vices that led to his demise.
The last time they come there being Bobby, they should be him, but they didn't get him. I think they had shot him in his leg and he had escaped. But all the time they watching for Bobby. And the youths that come in there is from the same youth they had shoot at first. That is the same youths that come in around and do all them shootings from Pave Castries. Outsiders that come in and do that. Because Bobby himself doesn't be in Dennery, he does more be in town. So every time he come from and do his thing, come and chill himself in town. So it's why he's seeing it. So the fellas coming right there behind them. Yeah, man. So that is how it happens. Check Bobby, because Bobby doesn't be in Dennery all the time. Bobby does more be in Castries.
He explained that for the past few months there have been many complaints of incidents of crime in the community. He fears for his safety in what he says is a violent streak among youth.
I'm not feeling safer because if I tell you I'm from Tualu and from the time that all them things happening, I go right down the road and stay. Because I don't want to see him just come and take me for Edelman and mistake me for Edelman and try and come behind me, you understand? So I put myself right down the road. But I say I'm from, my mother live a big spot from here. I haven't been on it yet. And check things that are going on there. I don't like that. You understand where I come from? Because that's my turf and them things never happened before. You understand? It's always them youths. Another generation that growing there, that building all them watering, you understand?
Giraru's cousin believes that the economic hardships being faced as a result of the pandemic may be one of the reasons why people continue to lash out. He says all he wants is for his community to return to being the tight-knit and peaceful place it was.
I more like to see the fellas living as one man, like check for each other guys, all the time. You understand? I'm more seeing that. Because you see me, I see that it's the best way for us to live and survive. Checking for each other, eh? You understand? But the guys hating on each other, they warning for each other. That one have the thing that they come and thief it. Even my things that is thief and I just allow them. The frustration, man, like the COVID-19 fellas, curfew, fellas can't go nowhere, fellas don't have the freedom. So that just frustrate the youths too. You understand? And if fellas want to do things, they want to make their money and they can't go out. So whatever they get, they thief.
The age of the latest victim has not been confirmed by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. This latest shooting takes the homicide rate in St. Lucia for 2021 to 20. Reporting from Chiralu, Dennery for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Meanwhile, Genevieve Gonzague also spoke with a business owner in the community who spoke on how crime is affecting her bottom line.
A small business owner says crime in the Dennery community within the vicinity of her business is an ever-present threat to her life and business. She says 2 recent shootings occurred within close proximity to her shop and has left her deeply troubled.
It's very sad because since when I heard that, I've been trembling all morning, like a headache. It's just very hard because I see what could he possibly do to anybody who would want to do such a thing to him. It's very hard. It's very hard for me because my business is very, very slow right now there, and all because of all those things going on, people being afraid to come, walking the road, people being afraid to pass.
She indicated that she was acquainted with the deceased Josiah Giraru and never knew him to be a troublemaker. She says the news of his death has come as a shock.
People come on TV and say people is a good person, but I know for sure he was good to my family. He was like a family friend to us, very close, very friendly, very close with my family. And I cannot say anything bad about him because he was good to me and my family personally.
The business owner says from all indications, youth involved in criminal activity in the community have very little regard for others.
People need to pray. People need to do something. These things have to stop. It really, really have to stop because a lot of innocent people are being hurt and a lot of grown-ups, middle-aged people, hearing all those shots and things like that, it's scaring them. People getting sick, those that get into hospitals just because of hearing those gunshots, it's really startling them, it's scaring them. I just want everybody to come together and just be themselves, just be normal with all those things going on. Everybody just try and put all those things aside because you have a lot of young children every day going up and down everywhere. Who knows, a stray bullet can take anybody at any time of day, night, day, it doesn't matter. They don't have special time doing their things, I guess. So we just need all these things to stop.
This is the second shooting in True-Alu Dennery in the last 2 months. There have been no arrests in the latest shooting. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The chair of the St. Lucia National Trust, Alison King, confirms that the Trust's legal team is taking action against the government of St. Lucia for what they claim is the unlawful demolition of the Royal Jail on Saturday, the 23rd of May 2020. King says the organization is seeking an admission that the government was wrongful in its actions. The Trust is also seeking damages.
The 23rd of May will mark 1 year since the demolition of the Royal Jail by the government of St. Lucia. This action was taken following years of fierce opposition and efforts to stop the works by the St. Lucia National Trust with hopes of protecting St. Lucia's patrimony. Following the demolition, the SLNT, with the support of the St. Lucia Archaeological and Historical Society and the Folk Research Center, expressed disappointment in the action taken, calling it a senseless demolition. On Monday, the chair of the SLNT, Alison King, revealed that the organization did not take the matter lying down in the past year.
Last week, our lawyers filed the claim for against the government for the action that it took in contravention of the undertaking that we had when they proceeded to demolish the Royal Jail without complying with the conditions of the undertaking, wherein, among other things, they agreed to consult with us through the design of that development and through, prior to any, to finalizing the design for that site.
King said the SLNT is calling for the government to take accountability for the damage that they did.
What we wanted, or what we want, is an admission on the part of the Attorney General, the Commissioner of Crown Lands, and the DCA that the actions that were taken in May of last year did indeed contravene the agreement contained in the undertaking and were improper and resulted in the loss of a very important heritage asset. So we want that declaration. We are also seeking costs and damages, primarily to our reputation and to speak to the loss that the nation has sustained.
King responded to arguments against the trust, stating that they are making a mountain out of a molehill, whilst also standing in the way of progress for a better home for the officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. She said this is not the case and that the government crossed a major line.
We never stood up against development of that site per se. All we wanted to see was an integration of the historical assets into the development plan. So we, like every other institution and as individuals too, we support the provision of appropriate facilities for all of our public players. But it's really not much ado about nothing, because at a very fundamental level, we had an agreement with the highest authorities in the land. We took them at their word. They signed a document that committed them to do certain things, and they contravened the very spirit of that agreement. So, it speaks to values and credibility. So there is no way that it is much ado about nothing. It's much ado about a lot of things.
The SLNT chair denied being anti-government and said, on the contrary, the trust tried their utmost to work alongside the government to reach an amicable solution that would see the site being preserved. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Still to come. The National Trust has a lot to say on the archaeological investigation that gave Cabot Development the go-ahead to develop lands. The SLP calls for an update on impacts, and the Fisheries Department warns of possible shark attacks.